Hello, good morning. Happy Wednesday. On planniest day of the week right here. It's going to be a good Wednesday. This week's almost over. And I'm happy about it. All right. March 8th, the day that I always think is my father's birthday and then find out the next day it's not. It's tomorrow. I do it every year. So happy not your birthday, Dad. All right. March 8th, the daughters of Zelophehad. One day a petition was presented by the daughters of Zelophehad, Mala, Noah, Hogla, Milcah, and Tirzah. Their father, Zelophehad, was a descendant of Hepher, son of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, son of Joseph. These women stood before Moses, Eleazar the priest, the tribal leaders, and the entire community at the entrance of the tabernacle. Our father died in the wilderness, they said. He was not among Korah's followers who rebelled against the Lord. He died because of his own sin, but he had no sons. Why should the name of our father disappear from his clan just because he has had no sons? Give us property along with the rest of our relatives. So Moses brought their case before the Lord, and the Lord replied to Moses, the claim of the daughters of Zelophehad is legitimate. You must give them a grant of land along with their father's relatives. Assign them property that would have been given to their father. And give the following instructions to the people of Israel. If a man dies and has no sons, then give his inheritance to his daughters. And if he has no daughter either, transfer his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, give his inheritance to his father's brothers. But if his father has no brothers, give his inheritance to the nearest relative in his clan. This is a legal requirement for the people of Israel, just as the Lord commanded Moses. Joshua chosen to lead Israel, Numbers 27:12 through 23. One day the Lord said to Moses, climb one of the mountains east of the river and look out over the land I have given the people of Israel. After you have seen it, you will die like your brother Aaron. For both of you rebelled against my instructions of the wilderness of Zin. When the people of Israel rebelled, you failed to demonstrate my holiness to them at the waters. These are the waters of Meribah at Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin. Then Moses said to the Lord, O Lord, you are the God who gives breath to all creatures. Please appoint a new man as a leader for the community. I find that interesting. Moses doesn't say, but God, I walked through the wilderness for 40 years with these fools. What do you mean I'm not going to get to go into the promised land? What do you mean? He didn't fight. He didn't argue. He just said, please appoint a new man. Give them someone who will guide them wherever they go and will lead them into battle, so the community of the Lord will not be like sheep without a shepherd. That's what he asked for. I think that's, I don't know, I always thought that was really cool. And maybe inside he was dying a little, but he didn't say it. He didn't fight and argue with God. He asked for what he wanted to see happen. I'll just think that's interesting. The Lord replied, take Joshua, son of Nun, who has the Spirit in him, and lay your hands on him. Present him to Eleazar the priest before the whole community, and publicly commission him to lead the people. Transfer some of your authority to him so the whole community of Israel will obey him. When direction from the Lord is needed, Joshua will stand before Eleazar the priest, who will see the Urim, one of the most sacred lots cast before the Lord, to determine his will. This is how Joshua and the rest of the community of Israel will determine everything they should do. So Moses did as the Lord had commanded. He presented Joshua to Eleazar the priest and the whole community. Moses laid his hands on him and commissioned him to lead the people, just as the Lord had commanded through Moses. The daily offerings, Numbers 28:1 through 8. The Lord said to Moses, give these instructions to the people of Israel. The offerings you present as special gifts are pleasing aroma to me. They are my food. See to it that they are brought to at the appointed times and offered according to my instructions. Say to the people, this is the special gift you must present to the Lord as your daily burnt offering. You must offer 2 one-year-old male lambs with no defects. Sacrifice 1 lamb in the morning and the other in the evening. With each lamb, you must offer a grain offering of 2 quarts of choice flour mixed with 1 quart of pure oil of pressed olives. This is the regular burnt offering instituted at Mount Sinai as a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Along with it, you must present the proper liquid offering of 1 quart of alcoholic drink with each lamb, poured out in the holy place as an offering to the Lord. Offer the second lamb in the evening with some grain offering and liquid offering. It, too, is a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. The Sabbath offerings, Numbers 28, 9 through 10. On the Sabbath day, sacrifice 2 one-year-old male lambs with no defects. They must be accompanied by grain offerings of 4 quarts of choice flour moistened with olive oil, and a liquid offering. This is a burnt offering to be presented each Sabbath day, in addition to regular burnt offerings and its accompanying liquid offering. The monthly offerings, Numbers 28, 11 through 15. On the first day of each month, present an extra burnt offering to the Lord of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. These must be accompanied by grain offerings of choice flour moistened with olive oil, 6 quarts with each bull, 4 quarts with the ram, and 2 quarts with each lamb. This burnt offering will be a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. You must also present a liquid offering with each sacrifice, 2 quarts of wine for each bull, 1/3 of a gallon for the ram, and 1 quart for each lamb. Present this monthly burnt offering on the first day of each month throughout the year. On the first day of each month, you must also offer 1 male goat for a sin offering to the Lord. This is in addition to the regular burnt offering and its accompanying liquid offerings. Offerings for the Passover, Numbers 28, 16 through 25. On the 14th day of the first month, you must celebrate the Lord's Passover. On the following day, the 15th day of the month, a joyous 7-day festival will begin, but no bread made without yeast may be eaten. The first day of the festival will be an official day for Holy Assembly, and no ordinary work may be done on that day. As a special gift, you must present a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, a 7-year-old male lamb, with no defects. These will be accompanied by grain offerings of choice flour moistened with olive oil, 6 quarts with each bull, 4 quarts with the ram, and 2 quarts with each of the 7 lambs. You must also offer a male goat as a sin offering to purify themselves and make yourselves right with the Lord. Present these offerings in addition to your regular morning burnt offering. On each of the 7 days of the festival, this is how you must prepare the food offering that is presented as a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. These will be offered in addition to the regular burnt offerings and liquid offerings. The 7th day of the festival will be another official day for Holy Assembly, and no ordinary work may be done on that day. Offerings for the Festival of Harvest, Numbers 28, 26 through 31. Lord, you must call an official day for Holy Assembly, and you may do no ordinary work on that day. Present a special burnt offering on that day as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. It will consist of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 one-year-old male lambs. These will be accompanied by grain offerings of choice flour moistened with olive oil, 6 quarts with each bull, 4 quarts with the ram, and 2 quarts with each of the 7 lambs. Also, offer 1 male goat to purify yourselves and make yourselves right with the Lord. Prepare these special burnt offerings along with their liquid offerings, in addition to the regular burnt offerings and its accompanying grain offering. Be sure that all the animals you sacrifice have no defects. Offerings for the Festival of Trumpets, Numbers 29, 1 through 6. Celebrate the Festival of Trumpets each year on the first day of the appointed month in early autumn. You must call an official day for Holy Assembly, and you may do no ordinary work. On that day, you must present a burnt offering as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. It will consist of 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. These must be accompanied by grain offerings of choice flour moistened with olive oil, 6 quarts with the bull, 4 quarts with the ram, and 2 quarts with each of the 7 lambs. In addition, you must sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering to purify yourselves and make yourselves right with the Lord. These special sacrifices are in addition to your regular monthly and daily burnt offerings, and they must be given with their prescribed grain offerings as liquid offerings. These offerings are given as a special gift to the Lord, a pleasing aroma to Him. Offerings for the Day of Atonement, Numbers 29, 7 through 11. 10 days later, on the 10th day of the same month, you must call another holy assembly. On that day, the Day of Atonement, the people must go without food and must do no ordinary work. You must present a burnt offering as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. It will consist of 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 7-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. These offerings must be accompanied by the prescribed grain offerings of choice flour moistened with olive oil, 6 quarts of choice flour with the bull, 4 quarts of choice flour with the ram, and 2 quarts of choice flour with each of the 7 lambs. You must also sacrifice 1 male goat for a sin offering. This is in addition to the sin offering of atonement and the regular daily burnt offering with its grain offering and their accompanying liquid offerings. Offerings for the Festival of Shelters, Numbers 29, 12 through 40. 5 days later, on the 15th day of the same month, you must call another holy assembly of all the people, and you may do no ordinary work on that day. It is the beginning of the Festival of Shelters, a 7-day festival to the Lord. On the first day of the festival, you must present a burnt offering as a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. It will consist of 13 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of the offerings must be accompanied by a grain offering of choice flour moistened with olive oil, 6 quarts for each, and 13 bulls, 4 quarts for each of the 2 rams, and 2 quarts for each of the 14 lambs. You must also sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the second day of the 7-day festival, sacrifice 12 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings of bulls, rams, and lambs must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the third day of the festival, sacrifice 11 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defect. Each of these offerings of bulls, rams, and lambs must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the fourth day of the festival, sacrifice 10 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings of bulls, rams, and lambs must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the 5th day of the festival, sacrifice 9 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings of bulls, rams, and lambs must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the 6th day of the festival, sacrifice 8 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings of bulls, rams, and lambs must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice a male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. I'm seeing a trend here. Anyone else? On the 7th day of the festival, sacrifice 7 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings of bulls, rams, and lambs must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and liquid offering. On the 8th day of the festival, proclaim another holy day. You must do no ordinary work on that day. You must present a burnt offering as a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. It will consist of 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 one-year-old male lambs, all with no defects. Each of these offerings must be accompanied by its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering. You must also sacrifice 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offerings with its accompanying grain offerings and liquid offerings. You must present these offerings to the Lord at your annual festivals. These are in addition to the sacrifices of burnt offerings you present in connection with vows or as a voluntary offering, burnt offerings, grain offerings, liquid offerings, or peace offerings. So Moses gave all of these instructions to the people of Israel as the Lord had commanded him. Whew! Bulls, rams, and lambs. Sounds like a storybook, children's book. Just with a lot of blood. Maybe not a great children's book. All right, let's do Unshakable. Day 67. We are on March 8th. Did we read that one? I guess we did. All right, March 8th, right? What day is it? March 8th. All right. My battery's about to die. Mark, what do you have? Mark 6:38. How many loaves do you have? He asked. Go and see." When they found out, they said, "5 and 2 fish." I have always loved the account of the fish and the loaves. It delights my heart that God always uses the least likely to achieve the unimaginable. He'll do that for us too when we recognize and offer what we have. When we recognize and offer what we have to Him. Seeing the crowd's hunger, Jesus first asked His disciples what food they had. He asked for a count, for recognition and identification of those resources, no matter how small. Like most of us would have, the disciples saw the enormity of the crowd and their small bundle of food, and they undoubtedly concluded that nothing could be done. But Jesus made them examine what they did have, because whether or not we see it initially, the elements for a miracle are always within our reach. Miracles always begin with a recognition of what we do have, an inventory, and an offering, not a list of all the things we don't have. Jesus can multiply what we recognize. God had the elements for this miracle in a child's brown bag. What small things can you offer? Take a moment of reflection today to identify and offer your gifts, and never underestimate what God can do and will do with whatever you offer Him, however small it seems. Almighty God, in your hands, nothing I offer you is too small. Thank you for that truth and for this hope. That, I have experienced that 100%. God growing beautiful things out of nothing more than one little, I don't know, one little video of the first cooking video I did. It was, hey, I found, I have this tip, I think I'll share it with everybody. And look what he did with that. He turned that into something amazing that has changed my life, has completely changed my life. Like 180 changed my life. More than most of you even know yet. Soon you'll know. But right now, I mean, he has done massive change in my life. Massive. Big. All right, let's read through the comments real quick. Let's see. We got home from the hospital Sunday night. I had to take my mom, who was almost 92, for a back x-ray yesterday because she felt... Oh my goodness, Melissa. You're running hard, girl. I'm so grateful that you're there for your husband, for your mom. It's wonderful that you've been able to be there for them. Right, Jackie? Exactly. True humility is when Moses wanted what was best for the people and it wasn't about Moses. And I think we all have opportunities in our life for that kind of humility, and most of us don't take it. We don't realize that we don't take it. I think most of us don't even recognize those opportunities for humility like that. Because the first thing I thought of was like, what do you mean I ain't gonna see the promised land? Excuse me? I deserve to see the promised land. But he wasn't like that at all. Faith, I give burnt offerings at least once a week at my stove. Love you, Mallory. Beth, you are right. God is good all the time. All right, my friends, let's go ahead and end in a word of prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you today for Wednesdays. Thank you for another day to get up and glorify you with our words and our actions. Thank you for this opportunity to gather together with these ladies from all over the country or all over the world. Thank you for bringing us together with common goals, a common goal to worship you in the morning or all day, but to spend some time in worship in the morning in your word. I pray that you will give us all a spirit of humility the way Moses did. Thank you for the example set out for us in the Word as we read through even the repetitive message of bulls, rams, and lambs. Thank you for teaching through that. Father, I pray that you'll go before us today, keep our eyes and hearts focused completely on you throughout the day, and may we recognize the needs in those around us and fulfill them however we can. In your precious name I pray. Amen. All right, friends. All right, what time is it? I've got to leave here at 8 to go pick up a child. My stomach is grumbling. I'm going to have some kind of fancy coffee this morning, a meal, probably with some squash in it. Squash coffee. It's squaffy. I'm going to have squaffy for breakfast. So I hope you'll join me. I'll just set up my computer and then I'll be live for some, I don't even know what flavor. I'll figure it out when I go live. All right, guys, I love you so much. Have a great day. And if I don't see you for breakfast, I'll see you tomorrow for more devotions. Bye.